The Pre-30 auction has so much more than antique tractors. There's gas engines, vintage vehicles, signs, tractor parts, implements, and memorabilia. One piece of memorabilia was delivered to the 2022 Gathering of the Green in Davenport, Iowa. It was a gold statue with an interesting history with the John Deere company.
So Roger, what can you tell me about this Henry Dreyfuss sculpture right here?
Well, actually, it was consigned. A guy brought it to me and wants us to put it on our pre-30 auction.
I know Henry Dreyfuss and Associates started with John Deere in the mid-30s. Of course, they're the company that was tasked to redesign and make the styled tractors for John Deere, the A's, B's, and G's. And I know John Deere used the Dreyfuss and Associates clear up into the 7 and 8000 series design of the exterior of the tractors. So when did they get involved with creating sculptures and the Art Deco side? Do you know?
They had the early Deeres, the copper Deeres, you know, it was on branch houses and different things. I think, what was there, maybe 10, 12 of those?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, these, they had, the story is that Dreyfuss designed this statue here, and for prominent dealers, branch houses, executives, you know, office, but I don't think a lot of them were produced. I don't know the exact number that were produced, but I have not seen one sell for a long time.
So they were specifically commissioned by John Deere corporate, yes, for those entities, either the corporate office, whether it be branch houses or high-end dealers.
Right, like okay. I think if you sold so many tractors or different things, it's my understanding that you know, you might have one of the dealership is my understanding of it. So. Right. But yeah, I guess Henry Dreyfuss designed it, more of a sleek Deere, you know, from the other one with the more of the Deere style rather than the kind of the European style they used to use.
Sure. Well, they used what they called the Delk, a cross between the Deere and an elk. Right. Design was early on. I know it's painted gold, but what is this made out of?
It's fiberglass.
It's fiberglass.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but I know there were different styles of these too. I was told there's like 3 versions. There was like a gold one, and then there's another one that's painted more like the Deere. It's brown with the white, you know,
I've
front.
I've seen one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's different, and there's prototypes. There's different things out there. I know I had a small version of this on my auction several years ago that they, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, whenever I sold a few of my things, but it was a little prototype to this, which was kind of neat. It was small, so. But that's about all I really know about them. Era, I'd say 40s, 50s, but I'm going to research that a little more.
Well, fiberglass is very popular in mid-50s, so yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense, exactly. Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, it's just more of a sleek, and has the leaping Deere, still incorporated the log, you know, and so it's a really neat piece of John Deere history, in my opinion. I mean, it would be really cool if you had, you know, your tractors lined up in your shed and this sitting in the center of it.
Oh, it'd be a fantastic centerpiece.
Oh, wouldn't it though? It'd be a great centerpiece for anybody's collection. What year did Henry Dreyfuss pass, you said?
It was the early 70s. It was, yeah, I mean, and then the corporation went on, Henry Dreyfuss and Associates, after his death. And like I said, the Deere used them clear up into the 7 and 8000 series designs, was the last input they had in the design characteristics of the tractor. After that, it was of course taken over by Deere. So quite a long run for a company to be associated with John Deere.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, another little funny story just to throw in there, but a friend of mine was passing through earlier, and he had one of these, I guess, that was sitting on top of a local dealership, and he was able to purchase it. But did you hear that story too? Where
I did.
It had an arrow through it, so some guy come through and shot it with his bow, I guess, and the arrow was still stuck in it when he bought it. But I thought that was pretty funny.
That is pretty interesting. There's no doubt about it. Things people do.
And he looked at me and he told me, he said, yeah, he said, I sold it too cheap. I said, you should have left the arrow in it.
Exactly. Talk about character.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of a neat story. So
this statue will sell on the 2022 Pre-30 auction. For more information, visit AumannVintagePower.com.